Hiya, so I just recently recorded this next video, but what I've done is I've split it into separate parts. So I'm taking each section apart, and you'll see as I release them out, it's just one part at a time. So this first part is the introduction, and it's also the very first phone call that you might make to the gatekeeper.
Hello again. Right, so questioning. This video is called How to Ask the Right Questions for Sales Success. There are so many different types of questions out there, as you know. So many with different names and acronyms attached to them. But you know, that's not the really important thing. It doesn't really matter where they fit in the funnel. It doesn't matter what they're called. And that's the last thing you want to be thinking about when you're going on a cold call or into a meeting. But what you do really want to know, and what you want to be thinking about, is what questions you need to ask, when you need to ask them, and most importantly, why you're asking them. Because if you know why you're asking them, then actually the what and the when becomes quite easy. Now, how you ask is also really vital because the tones and the words that you choose are crucial to getting that right level of rapport. And as you know, you do need a really good level of rapport with somebody for them to even want to keep speaking to you, let alone answering all your questions. I'm going to share with you some tips on how I think you can ensure that you do make the most of your opportunities to question a prospect throughout the whole of the sales process. But I'm going to do this in two parts because I'm going to talk to you in this video about the what, the when and the how. The what, the when and the why. And in the next video, I'll talk to you about the how. So let's start with the first sort of opportunity in the sales process, which is when you get to speak to the gatekeeper. So when you're talking to a gatekeeper, the first question that on your mind really should be, and will probably be, getting through to the right person to speak to. So getting through the decision maker. And your very first opportunity to ask such a question is right after you've introduced yourself. So for example, for me, I'd say something like, "Hi, my name is Shea Heer, calling from Wise Me Up. Can I please speak to da 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 da?" Now, the gatekeeper's response to that question is crucial to what I'm going to say next, because it could be that the prospect isn't available, so that's fine. If they are, great, I'll get put through to them. But if they're not, then I need to try to use this chance now to find out as much as I possibly can about the opportunity. So I'm going to keep asking the gatekeeper some more questions. So the why here is that you ask so that you know if the prospect qualifies for your time, because you want to know if it's worth you calling back when the decision maker is there. What questions you ask are going to be any that help you to fulfill your criteria for qualification. So for example, I generally ask things like, do you have a sales team, or how many are there in your sales team, and are they field based? So you'll have a similar sort of list of criteria that you'll have that will help you to make sure you ask questions. Remember, it's your opportunity to ask them, so make sure that you do. A gatekeeper may not have all the answers to these questions, but it's still worth trying. Don't write it off before you try. When to ask the questions is every time you speak. Remember I said to you before, each time you respond to the gatekeeper, you must respond with a question back after you've answered theirs.
Okay, so stick around for the next one. The next one is when you get through to speaking to the decision maker.